Welcome back to the Shred the Spread podcast. I'm your host, Jared. This is our week 17 picks episode, our second to last picks episode for the regular season, and our last episode for the year of 2023. Thank you guys so much for another incredible year and sticking by us even through our really rough middle after an incredibly scorching hot start. We are still above 500. We are still doing decent in the contest. We need a solid last 2 weeks, and let's finish strong. Before we get into our 5 favorite picks of the week for the contest, let me bring on my co-host, my right-hand man, my dude, Dynell. What's going on, man?
Yeah, what's going on, my guy? We back at it again for another Picks Friday. Let me put the fucking shovel away because it's time to go ahead and reveal what our picks are, my guy. Very confident, man. I feel like we got a lot, had a lot of options this week, man. I feel like we picked our spots very well. Let's see how we do. Come on, let's let the crowd know.
With no surprise to the listeners, we most likely got on the spots that we talked highly of on Wednesday. Dynell and I this is probably one of our smoothest weeks that we've had in the contest. Now, Granted, these lines lock on Wednesday, so we have a couple points of value, which obviously made it a no-brainer for us. However, these are spots that we're going to bet regardless. You'll see what we're talking about here in a few minutes, but these spots that we go over, we're going to bet that number, whatever it is, on the book. We just so happen to get an even better number in our contest, which is usually the other way around. We're usually getting screwed in the contest.
Facts.
But without further ado, let's get right into our Week 17 picks.
Let's go.
All right, here we go.
So in all likelihood, Deshaun Jackson's going to at least get a return.
Deshaun Jackson gets a block. Are you kidding? Way downtown. Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry!
That is a disgusting act by Randy Moss.
Leading us off. You thought you got away. Y'all thought y'all got away from my bread and butter. Y'all know what it is. Jared's special, served up fresh on a platter on Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock. We have Bryce Young and the Panthers traveling to the Trevor Lawrence-less Jacksonville Jaguars. The Panthers are plus 6.5 road dogs. This is just a great spot. The Panthers just put up 30 points on a Packers defense that's been lackluster. Don't get me wrong, but they put up 30 points, and that is what I need to see from this Panthers team. Bryce Young just looks a lot more confident in the pocket. The offensive line is holding up decently. We did see that defensive line kind of limit the run. They're really just getting killed in the secondary, but my main focus here is just getting pressure on CJ Beathard. I just don't think he's going to be able to sit in the pocket and make easy reads downfield. Travis Etienne, as long as we can sustain him to an average game, I think the Panthers are going to have no problem covering. They may even find a way to win this game. I just think in this contest, we have to play it. The number is huge. 6.5 in the contest, and books have it at 4.5, 3.5. We're getting a huge amount of value with this pick, and you guys already know I love the Panthers. Panthers plus 6.5, Dynell.
Yes, sir. You put the hammer to the nail, man. Like you said, bro, the injury to Trevor Lawrence definitely plays a big factor into this. It drops the points in the book because of that. But let's be honest too. Without Trevor Lawrence, we don't know what production to expect, especially not even to that playing field. You got CJ Beathard playing quarterback, and I can only diminish the offense would diminish to a ton, which has already been struggling as it is, and ETN hasn't really been got going. So I mean, this is a no-brainer, dude. And as long as Carolina stymies that run and prevents Travis Etienne from having a big game, Panthers might actually win the third game.
Yeah, and we pretty much hit on Wednesday that even if Lawrence played, we kind of did like this because you could see he's hobbled. He's not 100%, and he's not able to get out of the pocket like he usually does. So we know Brian Burns and that defensive line is going to get pressure on the quarterback, and they're pretty good at stopping the run. So it's not like the Jaguars just go out there and rely on Travis Etienne to make play after play. CJ Beathard is going to have to throw the ball probably 20, 25-ish times, and that's just going to play into our favor with a huge number. Moving on to our second pick of the week. No surprise, another big dog.
Big dog?
This is just a number that's also too big. They're at home. This is a letdown spot. We hit it on Wednesday, and this should be no surprise to you guys who listened to last episode. That's the Giants plus 6.5. We kind of already have this blueprint laid out. The Rams may win this game. It's going to be ugly. The Giants are going to cover. They're at home. This is a look-ahead spot for the Rams. They play the Niners next week. The Rams are fighting for that last wild card spot. They're most likely going to handle their business, but it's not going to be pretty this week. Just something about this Giants defense schemes up decent against the Rams. Like, they've got their corners aren't the best, but they are speedy. They usually don't let receivers get behind the secondary. Explosive plays, they're middle of the pack, which is surprising. Cooper Kupp is most likely going to run a lot of inside slant routes, out routes to the sideline. Puka Nacua is the one guy we kind of have to worry about. He's going to be the streaky one. But Adoree Jackson is sneakily still good. We're not going to sit here and act like this Giants team doesn't have any talent on the defensive side of the ball. Isaiah Simmons running around the middle. He's definitely an impact player. The Giants, this is just too big of a number at home. You know, like Dynell and I said, it's a look ahead spot for the Rams. They're going to come in here. They might sleepwalk through the game and get a win, but the number's just too big. What am I missing?
You ain't missing much, man. You can also bring up the fact that this is not a mobile quarterback. Matthew Stafford's probably one of the most stationary quarterbacks in the league. And Kayvon Thibodeau and that defensive front has shown definite improvement. Dexter Lawrence is going to cause and wreak havoc through the middle. And you already know what's a stationary quarterback's very least thing to deal with: interior pressure. So that only speaks more into our favor. And then to think that, you know, the Giants, we get plus 6.5 here on a team that's been, I mean, be honest with you, stays within ball games all throughout the year, man. Even last week against the Eagles.
Backdoor potential.
Yeah, exactly. So, man, Giants plus 6.5 to me and us was a no-brainer.
Yeah, I agree. Dino, why don't you let the listeners know what our third pick of the week is?
Our third pick of the week, we're going to travel to Seattle with the 12th man, and we're going to back the Seahawks minus 3.5 against Pittsburgh. Why? I'm going to tell you why. Well, I basically just kind of said it in the beginning. The 12th man. The Seahawks team is dangerous at home behind that crowd, and with Mason, the Rudolph reindeer, traveling over there, man, he's no good. All right, we all know this, guys. He is no good. He had a very, very good performance last week. Jarrett called it. I would have thought, but back to reality here, guys. All right, he is no good. He's going against a talented Seahawks secondary, and as far as I'm concerned, this Seattle's offense is definitely high-powered. Geno Smith and his offense does not make as many mistakes as the Bengals did. I expect the Seahawks to kind of get off to an early lead and kind of just stay ahead, you know. And as long as you stay ahead against the Pittsburgh Steelers, you limit the one thing they're very, very great at, and that's rushing the passer. Cam Hayward and TJ Watt cannot be that aggressive, and as long as they can mix in the running game with Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet, and then able to pass little quick passes and quick slants and mid-end routes in the outsides, bro, trust me, this is going to be a nightmare for the Steelers.
Yeah, I mean, Christmas is over. We're off Rudolph. I mean, all jokes aside, Mason Rudolph in that environment is a recipe for disaster.
Exactly.
He's most likely going to have to be on a silent count all game. He's really had no first-team reps the last 2 seasons. This is just going to be a very bad experience for him. And as long as the Seahawks just do what they're supposed to do, they shouldn't have a problem covering this number. I have this number at 6. Seahawks at home. I feel like the books are disrespecting their home field advantage, especially with a third-string quarterback. I just don't see Mason Rudolph being successful under the silent count all day. I see a lot of false starts. I see a lot of ugly scrimmage play, and that's just going to leak into the secondary. That's just going to leak into not being able to take shots downfield, and it's going to be a lot of dump offs and Najee Harris, and I think Jaylen Warren got ruled out for this game too. So
killer.
I
said killer.
Yeah. So that's just he is their most explosive playmaker besides Pickens, and Pickens had one play in the last few weeks. So this is just a smash spot for the Seahawks. We'll take them at home with the 12th man, as Dynell said. Moving on to our 4th pick, the boy is back in town, out of concussion protocol, fighting for a playoff spot, and that's none other than your boy, CJ Stroud and the fighting Texans. You know what? It's crazy going against the Titans this week. But Dynell and I, this should have been again, no surprise for you guys who listened last episode. We just don't know how much the Titans have left in the tank. They are just cruising by. They're losing by 3, which is usually what they do. I know this number's at 3.5, but I just don't necessarily know how much fight this team has. It's just, they're kind of just down, and they're not picking themselves up as much as they used to. They would go down and fight themselves back in the games. And the last few weeks, they've played pretty poor, and they keep shooting themselves in the foot. That's just so demoralizing for a team that has really no shot at the playoffs anymore. And their quarterback is just consistently being filtered in and out. Will Levis, Ryan Tannehill, the talks of, getting other guys in there, and they just really don't know what's going on. So I just feel like with too many changing pieces, it's like a revolving door. I know Mike Vrabel weighs a lot onto this team, but I think that's already factored into the number here in the contest. And we got CJ Stroud back at a great number. We love the Texans at home, and we love to fade them on the road, but this is just such a smash spot. The number's up to 4.5 on the book, so obviously with CJ Stroud being ruled in is just going to move that number in our favor more so. And again, we're getting another point of value here. I've got this game at 5 to 6 points. There's just so much room for fuckery for this Titans team. And I mean, that's a shitty word to use, but that's just realistic. You see it week in, week out, missing field goals, missing extra points, fumbling the ball. There's just way too much sloppiness to come from this Titans team that's usually a great coach. But I mean, I just love the Texans in the spot, Dynell.
Yeah, yes, sir. Nah, when you said Texans my 6, that was definitely my play. That was definitely my line there. It was that I had them at Texans winning by 6. The thing what kills me is, and it's kind of hard to watch. One thing these Tennessee Titans team has banged their hat on is discipline. Being smarter than the other team. You know what I'm saying? Having that Belichick-esque type coach on the sideline. And I don't know if it's, Bill Belichick having a bad year as well, but them boys is having rough years, man. It's really weird. The defense doesn't look the same. They don't have that same spunk as they used to. And like you said, man, miss extra points to lose the game, bro. Little things like that. This is not what we expect from Mike Vrabel, from a Mike Vrabel team. And as far as I'm concerned, Derrick Henry his time in Tennessee is about to be done at this point. He has no really power. Basically, against bad running teams, yeah, he gets it going. But this game right here against the Texans right now, who are trying to fight for a playoff spot, man, looks kind of rough, man. So yeah, Houston all day, especially at home.
Yeah, we got the best of the number, and we got our quarterback back. So I mean, that's really all I need to see. Our last game, our last and final pick, 5th pick, the Bengals plus 7.5. I mean, what do we have to say? All these spots, you should be no surprise. Dynell and I have said it the last 2 seasons. Patrick Mahomes over 3 points does not cover, regardless if he's at home, regardless if he's at away. And I feel as if the books cannot properly adjust to this Chiefs team. I mean, we're seeing pre-snap penalties at an all-time high for an Andy Reid coach team. Patrick Mahomes is visibly frustrated. We're seeing Travis Kelce bobble pass after pass. He hasn't gotten a clean catch in probably 2 weeks. I mean, I just don't understand this number. I've got this game at 4 points. I mean, I just don't see a world where Patrick Mahomes just goes out and lights up this Bengals defense that's top 10 against the pass and middle of the pack with red zone efficiency. And we see that the Chiefs are struggling to score. They're kicking a lot of field goals, or they're going for it on 4th down and being stopped short. This is just not the same Chiefs team of the last few years. The Chiefs are also banged up. We've got Pacheco, who's questionable with a concussion. Clyde Edwards-Helaire got banged up late in the game. And Kadarius Toney's out. Mecole Hardman's banged up. All these playmakers that we're used to are banged up. We're going to have to see a lot of people step up for the Chiefs if they're going to cover this number. It's just too damn big.
No doubt. I feel like this is complete disrespect on the Bengals aspect too, man. I mean, look at the number is gigantic compared to a team who just lost to a division rival who's nowhere near as good as them, and they didn't score one offensive touchdown. That is ridiculous. And to your comment of you don't think the book doesn't know how to adjust to the Chiefs, I really think it's a little bit of both, the Chiefs and the Bengals. What we see from Jake Browning Okay, but I get it. Rookie quarterback, he finally had his moment against one of the top defenses in the league. Whoop-de-doo, I get it. First things first, he made 2 mistakes early on, and that's what really put the nail in the coffin there. Because once the pass rushers for the Pittsburgh Steelers got going, that was it. All right, but let's be honest, guys. The Chiefs can't put the pressure the Pittsburgh Steelers can. Like, last time I checked, it doesn't look like the Chiefs can even get ahead in a lot of these games anymore. They're playing behind in a lot of these games. So what are we talking about here? And then who are we right now to give the Chiefs 7.5 points? That is beyond disrespectful to Dick Browning and that Cincinnati team. I get it. They looked dead in the water last week against a Pittsburgh Steelers team that looks remedial as hell, honestly. Let's be honest. They lost to a bad team. But like I said, they got down early. The script went out the window, and it caused a lot of problems there, okay? What are we talking about here, bro? And the receivers are nowhere near as talented. So come on, carry on.
Yeah, none of these should be a surprise. These are spots Dynell and I have played all this year, last year.
Yeah, man.
This is just us picking our spots, and we're getting value, which we rarely do in our contest. But just to recap our 5 picks: Panthers plus 6.5, Giants plus 6.5, Seahawks minus 3.5, Texans minus 3.5, and Bengals plus 7.5. Yeah, dude. This week was smooth as butter.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I hope it reflects in the results. But yeah, dude. So our last episode of 2023. Dynell, did you want to give anybody some words of inspiration before we get out of here?
First things first, I just want to say Happy New Year. Like I said, I won't be able to really talk to you guys about the New Year. Just wanted to get that out there. But nah, continue to grind, man. Just words from encouragement. I mean, think about where me and Jarrett was 2 years ago on this podcast, man. Think about it, bro. Like, it feels like just yesterday we started, and we have really gotten so much better. And then really, I mean, think about it. From the way we talk now, from the way the voices, the way we express to the fans, to the audience now, the way our audience has grown throughout the years. I mean, it has been remarkable, and it really all sticks to consistency, being able to do episodes each and every week. I mean, like I said, twice a week, consistently throughout the year, man, and we've gotten tremendously better at it. And we thanks for you guys for the support as well, because the more you guys grow and the more you guys share with your friends and family and things like that, it really gives us a big boost, and I appreciate the hell out of you guys. Now, like I said, bro, going to New Year with a bright perspective, go in, knock the shit out. There's some things I got to work on. Let's all work on them together. Let's grow together. That's all I got to say.
He said it best. Thank you guys again for all the support this entire year. From the preview episodes to our picks episodes and even our divisional previews. We get awesome response to that. This has been our final episode of the 2023 year. We have one preview left for the regular season, and then Dynell and I will dig right into playoffs and give our best bets for the playoffs.
Sir.
Even if the contest ends, we're going to finish out the season strong. We'll give our playoff predictions. We'll do a special episode of our playoff predictions, and then we'll go from there. So this has been our Week 17 picks episode for the season-long contest. You can follow us on Twitter at @ShredTheSpread_, and if you're into TikTok, you can follow us on there at @ShredTheSpread for the Shred the Spread podcast. I'm your host, Jared. He's Dynell, and for our awesome producer, Tyler, holding it down behind the scenes. Thanks again for listening, and until our Week 18 preview, we'll see you.
Peace.